Just don't think you're gonna get to that far.
Zach, Darren, can you guys hear us?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep, sounds good.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, Caden Sipe, on Tuesday, August 4th, call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock on this time. We're looking for a roll call.
Mr. Pankratz? Here. Counselor Duffloff?
Here.
Counselor Katie McMillan?
Here.
Counselor Smith?
Here.
Counselor Dennis McMillan?
Here.
Counselor McLean?
Here.
Mayor Sipe?
Here, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any questions from council on the agenda as it currently stands?
No.
Staff, any addendums we need to add? Bless you. Any addendums we need to add? Okay, no addendums, nothing else to add from staff, no other questions. We're looking for a motion to pass the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. We approve the agenda as presented.
Thanks very much. Motions are first and seconded. Can we get a roll call this time?
Counselor Pankratz? Aye. Counselor Duffloff?
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan?
Aye.
Counselor Smith?
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan?
Aye.
Counselor McLean?
Aye.
Fantastic. At this time, we're ready for the general announcements. We're gonna go ahead and go over to Melissa. Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
Yo,
Yeah.
Don't I? We don't have a ton for general announcements tonight. Just a reminder, Roxalox is around the corner, so keep those dates set aside. And then also the Bunko that was originally scheduled for this month was canceled. And Esmeralda's got something for you.
We have our final Saturday market this Saturday. So we welcome everyone to enjoy our last market of the season. Aside from that, our soccer league is closed, so you should be expecting to hear from our department here soon.
That's all we have for general announcements. Thank you very much. Moving on now to the Parks and Rec Department semi-annual report. Esmeralda, go ahead.
Thank you. I hope you guys have all had a chance to review my semi-annual report. I just wanted to highlight some things that are pretty exciting for us. The golf course, the highway signs, it was jumping hurdles to get us on the highway. Those are Highway 730, but I did note that we are getting on Interstate 84 and Highway 395. So those are yet to come. For the marina, we received a Golden Anchor Award this year, so that was a pretty big deal for us. And Salud Campos, who has been working really hard for the marina, she has also now become a certified in the marina management. So she'll be going in the fall, hopefully to get her finishing her course in the marina management. For recreation, I wanted to touch on that cover photo I used. I didn't get to talk much about it because I ran out of time. However, NRPA, the National Parks and Recreation Association, had released an initiative on getting girls more involved in sports. And so I meant to put this in my report, but I just ran out of time. I wanted to highlight flag football. We have really been trying to target getting more girls involved in sports. And so I just wanted to show you, tell you some numbers for the last 3 years of flag football. The first year we had 27 girls enrolled. Last year we had 35, and this year we had 49 girls enrolled. So we're climbing up. That was pretty exciting for us. This year was the first year also that we took 2 teams to regionals in Seattle, which was a fun yet humbling experience for our local kids. They really enjoyed it, but it was an experience for them they'll never forget. Our Saturday markets have been received very well by our community members. We do plan to send out a survey to just get some general feedback from anyone who's subscribed to our Parks and Recreation Department. And then I wanted to highlight 2 of our staff members, Carrie Holmes and Salud Campos, also got certified in with the National Parks and Recreation and Event Management. They completed their 2-year event management certification. So aside from that, if you have any questions, I'm open.
Looked
No.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looked really
a
good.
lot of stuff going on.
Oh, tons. Thank you.
Okay, with no further questions from council, anything else you'd like to add, Esmeralda?
Nope, just thank you for this opportunity for us to grow this department and provide a big service to our community. It's huge.
We'll continue the great work. It looks amazing and
Yeah,
we're
you and
looking
your
forward to
crew.
seeing more.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you a lot.
You
Thank
guys are doing awesome.
Okay, next one up, we have 5.3 follow-up memo from the July 14th, 2026 town hall meeting. Dave, you feeling up to it?
I think so. So I don't know what happened. I swallowed something.
Yeah.
I choked them out.
And if you need to
yesterday.
switch off, it's no big deal. We can have, I'm sure Melissa can take the mic.
I see
It'll
it.
be all right.
Thank you. Once again, just wanted to thank the community for coming out to the July 14th town hall meeting. When we presented that, we let council and the community know that if there were any major items that needed additional clarification or that we couldn't answer at that meeting, we'd bring that forward. For the most part, we were able to answer, most of those questions during the evening. The only one that I wanted to bring back with a little bit more information was the very first question that we had of the night had to do with transferring to surface water and possible radioactive or contaminants or radionuclides in there. And so I just wanted to provide sort of some of the background and some of the context of the staff reporting on that. But one of those that's in the report, you can see on page 30 in your packet, we have we tested for these contaminants. So we tested for uranium and radium and alpha and beta emitters just last year. These are the radionuclide contaminants that are required for testing for public drinking, and our results were that they were ND or non-detected. Here we'll be able to pull those in Umatilla. I'll give it one more shot and see if this will stay with me. I provided, just as a matter of reference, kind of what that looks like in other jurisdictions just up river from us in Richland and West Richland. This is their 2025 water quality report. They do use Columbia River water as their primary source of drinking water, and you can see that they have gross alpha and beta emitters tested. They also test for radium and uranium. And they do have detectable levels in there at 5 parts per liter, for example, which are below MCL or the maximum contaminant levels that are there. And then they treat for that through that process. So our processing system is engineered similarly in a way to be able to address these types of contaminants should they, if and when we get to that point. But at the moment, our testing is that they are non-detectable here in Umatilla. That said, I did highlight in my memo to you, the Columbia River is classified as a vulnerable water source, which simply means it does not mean that there's contaminants necessarily in the water, but that they are at a higher risk or of association of they may appear in the water at a either current or later date. So I did also just want to highlight that of how that is classified by Oregon Health Authority as well.
So Dave, if that were to be reached at a detectable level, then do we switch a valve to go back to our groundwater? What do we do?
Yeah, so we haven't got SOPs or anything like that, standard operating procedures on what that would look like. But yeah, the general idea is that the river water would be our primary source of water. But the wells are still, they're not going to be retired. That's not part of the master plan to retire them completely. And so without knowing what those SOPs are, I can't really say for sure. But yeah, there would be several different options available to us. We'd have the ability to certainly treat for that or things like algae blooms or whatever. And if we're unable to treat, then yeah, you'd have to do a temporary system-wide switch, because if we had contaminants that were there, they could potentially be in the system-wide pipeline. So you'd have to do a system-wide decontamination, which is going to be essentially some sort of time associated with a chlorination, bleaching, and that sort of thing. I don't know what that looks like. And then there'd be a switch of the valve running to the to well water until we were able to properly treat the surface water, if we weren't able to hit the contaminants with the treatments processes that we have.
Are we going to use the well at all while we're doing surface water?
Yeah, so I always throw the adjective primary in front about using surface water because it's not going to be a full retirement of the wells. At the very least, the wells will serve as a redundancy for us. But the Water Master Plan identifies keeping water in the aquifer as a priority in the La Guama region here for the health and benefit of the aquifer, which is for general water quality throughout the region. Yeah, there will be instances where we at the very least will need to exercise those valves, keep them chlorinated, make sure that those pipelines and things aren't going totally dormant, because if they do, there's a whole process associated with getting them started up again. So there will always be some sort of mixing going on, and that's an allowed use within the system as long as they're treated to those standards.
I mean, in theory, the level of the aquifers could raise back up with little minimal use.
Yeah, and there's other alternatives that the city continues to explore in all of our water uses. So, for example, right now the industrial use of surface water, the surface water is now primarily used or exclusively used for industrial use right now, and that water goes to our industrial partners, and then goes into a system we call our IWW, our industrial wastewater pipeline, which then goes into the West Extension Irrigation Canal in partnership with the Bureau of Reclamation. So that water gets reused for down the canal infrastructure for farming and irrigation purposes. City of Hermiston, they have had success in this last year of doing aquifer recharge, and I would say moderate to a high level of success, to the extent that that's something that we're starting to consider as a possibility. What's really nice about those types of programs is that when we're getting a lot of rain and water is flowing in the winter months, you can recharge and store that water underground during that time when water is high. Otherwise, it's heading just back to the ocean. And then during summer months, you're able to then tap those underground storage facility aquifers and use that for industrial domestic use as well. And so you're not entirely dependent on snow runoff and things like that, for example. So we continue to look at water sustainability options to the city.
So Dave, quick question about so you said we have non-detectable. Is that in our current well system where you took that sample from, or is that out of the Columbia River, where we're going to have our point of diversion?
The latter. So where our point of diversion is going to be, we took a sample at that location.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey,
Is anyone checking for chromium?
We have not tested for chromium.
It's something Hanford tested for while we were active.
I don't know enough about the testing requirements on that. I'm not sure if that's these 4 radionuclides are required for annual testing. I'm not sure. Some, like, for example, we have IOCs, inorganic contaminants that we have, like fluoride. We talked about that a little bit last month, where that only requires testing once every 9 years. I'm not sure what chromium would be. I'd have to refer to Leon and the OHA to learn a little bit more about that.
I have something to say.
Go for it, Darren.
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate the fact that we're being forward thinking on this, and hopefully we can be strategic in how we plan this out for the next 5, 7, 10 years as the community grows, to look at sources beyond what we currently have. And I think that's kind of where we're going with this. It isn't that we're going to flip the switch tomorrow and stick a garden hose out there and run it to our house. I like the fact that we're actually looking for opportunities to expand as our community grows, because as we all know, water in our area is very, 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 very high commodity. So I do appreciate us having this conversation. It's not a debate of what, where, when, or how. It's just we can figure out what we need to do for the future now when we have time to do that.
So, staff, obviously we had these reports as part of our due diligence as we were running our point of diversion locations and studies as part of our engineering due diligence and creation of our water treatment facility. And so I wanted to make sure that this report was available to the council and to the community as well.
I had a question about the wells.
I'm much more familiar with private wells, but do we have to use wells withdraw a certain amount of water to protect our water rights? Or does that not apply to municipalities?
It does apply, but you only have to prove beneficial use once in your wells. And so our wells are well established. We've had them for however many decades at this point. So you do have groundwater rights associated with those also. And we're nowhere near, I don't know right off the top of my head, but it's well over 10 million gallons a day of available water right for a collective capacity of our ground wells. And the most we ever really use in any summer might be around 3 million gallons a day for the city. And so we're at maybe 30-ish% capacity of that. But that said, we do have at least one well in the city every year for the last several years. We have to lower it throughout the season because the static level of the aquifer is dropping each year. We've kind of gotten to the point now with that well where we take it all the way down to the bottom as far as we're allowed to go. And the next option would be to have to drill deeper if we needed more water from that well.
Thank you.
So David, in your memo here, you mentioned that it says staff says the Columbia River water is safe. And then in a later paragraph, it says that the OHA says it's vulnerable. It says in this context, there's a potential susceptibility to contamination. So is it vulnerable or is it safe?
So vulnerable is a classification of the water body. So this is a technical term of the Columbia River water. So their classification of is exactly what it means here. Refers to the source of potential susceptibility to contamination. I don't remember if it's earlier or afterward. It doesn't mean that there's anything there today. It just means that it has potential susceptibility to contamination. There are other bodies of water that don't have this classification. They have a different type of classification. And so it just means that from our testing and what we have, the information we have available to us today at the moment, we haven't detected it here. It's been non-detected. But that doesn't mean that because it's non-detected today, it'll be non-detected forever. That I just want to be clear. That's not what we're trying to imply. We're saying it is a vulnerable body of water and is susceptible to contamination.
Okay. Any further questions from council on this one?
No.
Anything else like to say, Dave? Anything else like to mention? Okay, great. Moving on now to, let me get back to the right page. I apologize. Moving on now to our public comment period here. Mr. Kennedy, would you help me out here? Thank you. This evening we have Mr. Josiah Barron.
Spider-Man, I mean.
Oh, I apologize. Half Spider-Man.
That would have been cool.
Just wanted to, Josiah Barron, yeah. Even though I was practicing my loud voice over there as I was talking with the people closest to the speakers. But moving on, Josiah Barron, Umatilla Chamber of Commerce, 100 Klein Avenue. I just wanted to start out briefly with the last Saturday market coming up to congratulate Parks and Rec and City for the great job they've been doing on the Saturday markets. I keep hearing good things about it from our chamber members who have been involved as vendors or just from other people of the community. And what I've been hearing is people want the city to be doing it more than once a month. I don't know what your capacity is, but just thought I'd throw that out there. Just a couple other quick things. C2 Fashion right over here at the Umatilla Business Center, October 7th through October 15th, they're having a mix and match savings special. You can get They've got a buy 2 items, get 10% off, buy 3 items, get 15% off, and buy 4+ items, get 20% off. That's August 7th through August 15th. Good place to check out and support the business incubator program the city's doing, but also support the local businesses. Maybe that's my phone.
Spidey senses.
Tingling. And just the last thing is thank you to those of you who've been watching the Foodie Fridays for our local food businesses. And this week I actually got my first working Wednesday lined up for one of our local contractors. So I'll be going out to the work site to do a little spotlight there. So there'll be a few, not just food businesses that will be getting promoted there. And the last thing I had to mention, speaking of food, is there will be on August 22nd, so that's a Saturday, August 22nd, there'll be a Umatilla Food Pantry pop-up at the Umatilla Chamber of Commerce parking lot. And there'll be more information coming out about that for that. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Josiah.
Thanks, Josiah.
Thanks, Josiah. Okay, that's all our public comment we have for this afternoon here. Let's go ahead and move on to the consent agenda. Is there any questions on the consent agenda as it currently stands? Okay, with any addendums from staff? Okay, with there being none, looking for a motion to pass a consent agenda as one unit.
Both of them?
Mhm.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. We approve the July 14th and July 21st minutes of 2026. I better add that now.
Thank you. Can we get a second, please?
I'll second that.
Motion has been first and seconded. Can we get a roll call at this time?
Counselor Pankratz,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving on now to 9.1, the first reading by title only of ordinance 889. Is there any questions on that from council? Anything from staff?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Good evening, Zach Rackeye, Community Development Director. So Ordinance 889 is our standard telecommunications franchise ordinance, and it is for Windwave Communication. This is a renewal of an existing franchise agreement that has been in place, but it had reached the end of its term. So this renewal that comes forth is for an initial 5-year period, and then 3 subsequent 5-year renewal periods after that. So looking at a total of 20 years, which is typically what franchisees would like to see as they're providing telecommunications. Within the ordinance, it does talk about that the franchise fee is 7% of gross revenues for Windwave, which is the maximum as allowed by the ORS. And other than that, it's pretty standard language, but staff can stand for questions at this time.
Zach, is that the same as for inland as well? Can we pass those as just one clump agreement?
Yeah, essentially they are the same franchise agreements, but I would look to City Recorder Sandoval for the protocol for passing both at the same time.
2 separate motions. Got it. Okay.
Was there any substantial changes to this contract versus the last one?
Not really. I don't have the figures in front of me, but I do believe that the franchise fee has increased to that 7%. So we wanted to make sure that we captured that. Both agencies were fine with the changes that to the franchise fee revenues that the city would collect, and therefore want to move forward with this.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. All right, this time I'm looking for a motion for just 9.1 at this time.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion for first reading of ordinance number 889 by title only.
Thank you. Can we have a second motion, please?
Second.
First and second, and can we get a roll call at this time?
Counselor Pankratz,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
The ayes have it. May you please read the ordinance by title only.
Ordinance number 889, an ordinance granting Windwave Technologies Incorporated, DBA Windwave Communications, a non-exclusive franchise to construct, operate, and maintain a telecommunications network within the city of Umatilla, Oregon.
Okay, perfect. Moving on now to 9.2. Zach kind of already highlighted it. Can we get a motion at this time for 9.2?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for the first reading of ordinance number 890 by title only.
Thank you, sir. Can you second, please?
I'll second that.
Okay, motions with first and second. Can we roll call this time?
Counselor Pankratz,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
You guys have it. May you please read the ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 890, an ordinance granting Inland Development Corporation a non-exclusive franchise to construct, operate, and maintain a telecommunications network within the city of Umatilla, Oregon.
Thank you very much. Moving on now to 9.3, resolution number 032027. Any questions on this one from council? This one has a presentation from staff.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about the point of diversion and pipeline project lately. At the last council meeting, you awarded a contract to Rotchke for the point of diversion portion of the project. We put the transmission main second part of the project out to bid. We did receive 5 bids. Not surprisingly, Rotchke was the low bidder. There's some economy of scale savings, not having to mobilize twice. And so this was great news for us. The engineer's estimate on that portion of the project was just over 5.4 million. And the bid for this came in at just under 3.6 million. So a substantial savings from the engineer's estimate.
Great. Okay. Is there any questions from council? Okay, with there being none, looking for a motion at this time.
I move that we accept resolution number 03-2027.
Thank you very much. Can we get a second motion, please?
I'll second that.
Motion has been first and seconded. Can we get a roll call at this time?
Counselor Pankratz,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff, Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Guys, have it. Moving on now to 9.4 Parks and Rec Advisory Committee appointments. Any questions from council about either of these appointments? Okay, with there being none, we're looking for a motion at this time.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion to confirm the appointment of Caritza Del Real and Daniel Ochoa Jr. to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee.
Were you just clearing your throat or are you trying to get my attention? Okay, you're good. Okay. Just want to make sure. It's really bad. Can we get a second motion, please?
I'll second it.
Thank you, sir. Can we get a roll call at this time?
Counselor Pankratz,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
You guys have it and welcome on board and glad you guys are helping out the city and we're looking forward to seeing you guys continue to do great things. Thank you for joining. You guys have it. Moving on now to 9.5, approval of written findings for the sole source procurement.
Yeah, thank you. So the city is in the process of designing the wastewater treatment plant capacity improvement project. We are getting closer to going out to bid by the end of this year. Typically, if we were just replacing a screen in the Headworks building, on a standalone basis, the cost of this equipment would not exceed the threshold for multiple proposals. But because it is part of a larger public works improvement project, we can't break that project apart to avoid procurement law. And so our engineers and our operators are requesting a sole source procurement approval for a JWC Auger Monster screen. The screen itself costs $95,500. And they are requesting that due to the compatibility of our existing system and operator familiarity with the screen itself. So the findings are in your packet if you have any questions.
Is this a local company or is this someplace, do you know where this is based out of?
I believe that they're out of California.
Okay. And we're 100% sure there's no familial ties to any of this from us.
No.
Okay. All right. Those are my questions. Anybody else got questions? All right. No further questions. We're looking for motion at this time.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the written findings for the sole source procurement of the wastewater treatment plant's headworks screening unit as a part of the overall Umatilla wastewater treatment plant capacity improvement project.
Thank you. Can you get a second on the motion, please?
I'll second that.
Motion's been first and second. Looking for a roll call. Or sorry, yeah, roll call this time.
Counselor Pancratz,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
It's time we're looking at our second public comment period. Blank. All right, moving on now to our discussion item for this evening. 11.1, the remembrance of former mayor and city council member Mary Dietrich.
Yes, sorry, that's me. Thank you. On April 7th, City Council passed a motion directing staff to explore appropriate ways to recognize and remember former Mayor Mary Dietrich. So staff and I collectively, we came up with some ideas, and I'm presenting to you the idea of having a remembrance bench at our future community garden, which will be located at Riverview Park on South Hill, which is where she also resided, and also a proclamation reserving that day in remembrance of former Mayor Mary Dietrich. So I guess I just wanted some feedback on what thoughts were on that.
I like it.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
No, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
She would like it too.
She would, yeah.
Yeah.
Should.
Is the bench going to be where a lot of people are? A lot of talking and a lot of conversation.
She'll have a really good view.
But I think she wants the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to talk.
She liked the juicy gossip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Okay. At this time, I think that sounds good. Do you want to pass a motion to move forward with this, Bruce? All right, is this the discussion right now? Do you want to push this forward?
Do we need a motion? Do we just need consensus?
We don't need a motion, but you certainly can if you'd like. It's within, we have things like this budgeted and we can move forward on that project, but it's nice to have a motion.
I would love one. Let's get this done with. I think this is a good thing to be done with.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a
I'm gonna
motion
think,
to accept the recommendation from Parks and Recreation Committee for a commemorative bench within the community garden at the base of South Hill and a proclamation.
Thank you. Can we second the motion, please?
I'll second it.
Motion has been first and second. Can we get a roll call this time?
Counselor Pancratz,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving on now to 11.2, discussion on the Umatilla Connection Assistance Program. I see Zach. Zach, are you on this one?
Yes, I am back. I was, and I am unmuted. I was having trouble with the click there. Yes, good evening, Mayor and City Council. As part of our longstanding project to develop the water and sewer capabilities in the Power City and Brownell areas, that project is wrapping up rapidly. And we're now at the point where we want to fulfill another goal of the project, which is connection of the residents, business owners in that area to the new city-led systems. So as part of this project, we will be offering a limited grant to allow for connection to this upgraded infrastructure. And really the grant framework that we brought forth this evening is for discussion. It is kind of uncharted waters, something I don't believe the city has done, and it's a pretty beneficial program. But as we go through these frameworks, as we start a whole new grant program, the more eyes on it, the better. So we wanted to bring it forth for discussion this evening, but I'll give you a brief synopsis, and then we can take questions and have discussion on any changes we need to make, any other things we need to consider, that sort of thing. So we really wanted to look at this for how are we going to determine eligible properties for this grant program. So this would be limited to existing developed properties within these areas. Vacant land is not eligible. Eligible new construction, if there is construction that's active right now, or someone is looking at these water and sewer connections and, hey, I can build a home, I can build an office, I can build a warehouse, and get the city connection. We do have to have an active building permit on the property by June 30th of 2027. That's at least what we're putting in there. We wanted to give a year eligibility. We're a little bit behind or a little bit past the June date, so we can maybe make that further in as we, or further out as we actually issue this grant program. The eligible structures that this would be for, so this would be for any existing residential, commercial, industrial, manufactured housing, any other occupiable structures that have a restroom or a kitchen. So if you have a vacant barn on the property with no restroom, kitchen, or plumbing capabilities, we can't run a water meter to it. And actually, at the mention of meter, let me back up a little bit. So the intent of this grant program is to provide a connection from the water and sewer service that the city put in with a meter all the way into the building that it is connected to. Part of this program is the procurement of a specified plumbing company, or a handful of plumbing companies that would agree to do the work. They would bill the city for payment of that work. Based upon the job, we would have proof that it was done, that it was contracted, that it was under permit. And then this would be funded through our grant dollars, but it would also be a sort of tax eligible for the property owner. So at the end of the year, they would get a 1099 tax form for this. I don't know if gift is the right word, but for this service for their property, this increase in value. So that being said, that's the main basis of the program. The assistant, as we talked about just now, would be costs associated with connecting water and sewer services to the buildings themselves. The application requirements, we are going to be requiring that they submit an application demonstrating that they own the property, that the property is eligible, what the current use is, and any required building permits that are required to, or that are due prior to approval. We are working out the nuances between this because this is outside of city limits. The building permits are controlled through the State of Oregon Building Department and not the city of Umatilla. But just proof that a building permit was pulled is something that we would check in order to check eligibility. This would require the execution of a grant agreement, while the building permit for the plumbing work would be inspected by the state. We would likely have representatives from the city come out just to check it as well, make sure that the compliance with all the grant requirements is met. As part of this agreement, we would be looking for like property owner eligibility. We would have a 1099 tax acknowledgement, so they know that they would be getting that tax acknowledged. They would acknowledge the tax implications of this, and look at something that they accept the rules as well. So the funding and timing is subject to available funding. Eligible work must be completed in 2027. We have June 30th in the original draft of this grant, but in order to give proper time, we may move that out a little bit. We talked about tax implications, annexation. So the structure of our service for water and sewer on the rates is a little bit different. I think it's approximately double outside the city for city utility users than it would be if they annex to the city. We are, as part of this framework, going to give them the option to annex to the city. They can voluntarily annex at the time of utility connection. Any owners that are voluntarily annexing would be responsible for the costs of that annexation. So the surveys, the filing forms, the process through the city, but they would receive utility services at in-city rates after that.
Dave, I got a question on this. Zach, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
So I know like the annexation process has to come through, oh my gosh, Bruce, Planning Commission. Goodness gracious, thank you. Planning Commission first and then come to us. Is there a way we can expedite that process to make that easier, or does it have to go through that process? Can we preemptively pass if someone's on these two streets? Can we say that we just accept annexation from these?
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
I can go ahead and answer. So Planning Commission works for you. Joanna, you might be able to help, but my understanding preference is to have a specific land use to the council. I believe we can do that, but I'll look to Joanna.
I have
Want me
a
to put you on the
question.
spot? It's okay to come back to this, Joanna, if you need more time.
Thank you. Joanna Lyons, Antley City Attorney. Unfortunately, I'm not an expert in annexation, so I'd have to come back. But I do generally believe that city manager is correct, that you can direct what things go to the planning commission, but we have to follow our ordinances. And so we may have to have a text amendment that would make that change. But I think as staff, we can certainly examine that and see if there's some ways to expedite annexation.
I don't know. Bruce, is that?
It's a
is that
great
not-
question. It would shave 30 days off the process.
Which I think would be beneficial for people, especially if they're trying to, do a grant process, and it sounds like it would be beneficial to Zach as well. Bruce has a comment. We're gonna go to Darren first. Darren, go ahead and.
I thought that we annexed in a bunch of that property up there already.
I think it's a different section. So we annexed the one on River Road, on Old River Road, not these sections over here. I think this is the one on Brownell over by the truck stops. Darren.
So the roads are annexed into the city, but the individual private properties come in one at a time.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Oh, okay. That was sure. All right. Thanks, Bruce. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if that's something that council, do you think that's something that's worth exploring, or am I?
No, good question.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, my comment on this whole thing was I'm very interested in pursuing this, to the end. It sounds like there are lots of moving parts yet to be determined. So, hopefully this really is discussion, and we'll come back and revisit this when we have some more information and some of this filled out.
Right.
I guess, Melissa, how does this, if everybody decided that they were interested in giving up being out in the countryside and wanted to hook up, how does this impact the budget?
Not significantly. The amount of connections in this system, I think it's like 60 something connections. So as a total for the debt service requirement on here, it's not going to make or break it for the city. We went into executing the loans and grants for these projects, knowing that it was going to be something that was partially subsidized by our other users.
Sure.
And so I don't see that being a huge issue. And I would say on timing of this, they are nearing completion of construction in the Brownell area. We still have a ways to go in Power City. And so there are still things to consider, but we do need to pretty quickly figure this grant program out, because those residents in Brownell will be able to connect very soon.
And that's why I think it's important to expedite it. If we can get it 30 days faster form, I think that's a huge deal, especially in this processing. That'd be massively beneficial. But just an idea. I don't know.
I like
That's what we're discussing.
I love the concept. I mean, it seems to me maybe it's my impression of what I've heard and seen before, but I think we've alluded to the fact that we would have a program like this available for the people up there if they wanted to take advantage of it.
Yep.
So I think we're in this.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, I get, it's like, hey, public service, the quicker we do this, the quicker it'll be available.
Yeah.
A little bit more detail
Mhm.
would be
Yeah.
awfully nice.
Yeah, I think it just helps Zach out a little bit, take some stuff off his plate if he can expedite it.
Can I ask a follow-up to that? What details are missing that you would need more information on as Zach and I work to finalize this? You're right, this was a condition. So in order to get the grant, we had to reach out to the residents and do an interest survey, engage, how many, and could we get a certain percentage of people connected? And so I guess just knowing that we've already committed to doing this, what other pieces would you like to see?
I guess I kind of already answered my question in the end, or you did, but I guess a little bit more fleshing out what the financial impact, potential is for what we're getting into.
Yeah, that would be,
Go ahead, Darren.
that would kind of be my question as well. First of all, what does a project cost? And are we going to do the total, or are we going to do half? We're going to do 3/4 for a grant. Let's say it costs $10,000, $20,000 to do it. Where does that sit?
So yeah, we allocated this, we spoke about this throughout the annual budget process. So we estimated the total grant for $600,000. We allocated half of that in through water and half of it through sewer. Not really knowing exactly where the dollars would shake out, but those dollars are already allocated and approved in the current fiscal budget. So if for some reason costs exceeded that when we got estimates, that's when we would need to come back to council about do we need to do a supplemental budget, but I do feel pretty confident that we have enough revenue already allocated.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we already talked about getting this in the budget. So this is just basically a conversation of making sure that we get the framework correct and the grant process correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
The finances are already in place.
Yeah, okay.
And appreciate the question early. It's a great question on the streamline option. I'll finish. Just wanted to highlight on the very last paragraph on Zach's intro there is just to be clear, we're not forcing annexation. And so one thing though that would be required product of this grant would be if you're not annexing today, we're going to record something on your title that at time of transfer, at that time, it would need to annex into the new property owner. So buyer is eyes wide open at time of purchase, that at time of purchase through the title process, it's going to annex into the city prior to that close.
Okay. Any questions from council moving forward?
No,
Getting lots of head nods. Darren, any other questions?
No, I really don't have any questions. I'm just, if they're not going to annex in, how does that look? It was my understanding that we were only going to give it if they annexed in.
Yeah, so eventually every property that participates in this grant will annex in, just depends on when. There's a built-in incentive to our rates. So those that are not annexed into the city, we have a few in that are outside city limits or in the donut hole of a city limit somewhere, and they connect to city water and sewer. Those users of the system pay double the rate. And so those that are participating in this program will have to do that math and see, you know, does this make financial sense to annex in? Does it cost twice as much? Will it not? And make the decision that's best for them. But in general, as a matter of, it's been the traditional or historic policy of this elected council that we don't typically force annexation even. And so in this framework, we were trying to follow that historic tradition, even though we're doing it through a grant program, but we sort of met in the middle with this recorded remonstrance that gets filed with the deed.
Well, if I recall correctly, I think Melissa did some back of the napkin math at our workshop back in March. I can't remember when we had it. And she talked about, you know, the tax hit versus the amount of money paying double would cost. It just mathematically doesn't work out. You should just annex in. And that truly is, I think we might need to have a graphic that shows that a little bit, says, hey, here's the cost over 10 years versus cost of paying taxes over 10 years, and maybe spell it out for people to be more transparent and clear that you'll save money in the long run if you just decide to annex. Something to think about. Okay, no further questions. Darren, thanks for your comments. Dave, anything else? Go ahead.
Wrap up on the summary. So we wanted to present the framework. Zach, thank you for doing that. Zach, job, and thank you, council, on the support. So we'll the next iteration of this will be the actual grant application and the grant agreement. And so that'll take us a little bit of time, but we'll bring that back to you as soon as we can.
Okay. Any further discussions at this point? Okay, with there being none, we're going to go ahead and move on now to the mayor's message. I just want to say thank you for all coming out tonight. Really glad to see, you know, everyone here and healthy and trying to do their best. And you know, just appreciate everyone being here tonight. I want to give a small shout out. I was recently in Spokane, just visiting some family up there, and I just want to say hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to the people of Spokane, and I know family and friends who have lost houses, and definitely a heartbreaking situation that's still evolving, and definitely have those friends and families in your thoughts and prayers, people of Spokane. So appreciate it, and we're gonna go ahead and start with Bruce McLean this time. Go ahead and start down there. Go for it, Bruce.
Goodness. And not prepared to be first. Yeah, thank everybody for being here. Wonderful to see you. Busy day with National Night Out and, running for office information. Another great, semi-annual report. I'm kind of enjoying this beginning of a competition to see who can put the best report together. It's like, leave that to you, but, I guess the only other thing I can think of at this stage of the game, kind of staying with my typical train is, with the smoke, watch out for your respiratory health. It is a real issue. We have some less than desirable conditions out there. And if you're not feeling well, get the appropriate help. There's not much, if you can afford to walk away from work and go to the coast, you can get away from it. Other than that, we're all here and we need to take care of ourselves and probably watch out for, people we're around a little bit.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Mr. McMillan?
I don't got much to say at all, except for, thanks to first responders. I found out tonight that's what the National Night Out was. I had no idea. Yeah. Anyway, but thanks to first responders. I'm looking at you, LT, over there. Anyway, and thanks for everyone for showing up. I appreciate seeing faces out here. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got. Oh, it's cool to see the bench thing. So, talking about bench for Mary. I was sitting here reading that in the thing and, just reminiscing about Mary, and I miss that old battle axe sometimes, Anyway, you can go ahead. That's all I got. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Smith, go ahead.
I don't have much either. It's great to see how much the new square is being used. I went out to the National Night Out before coming here, and there's been a number of events since that opened. And that's great to see it. A lot of times new buildings just don't do much. And this seems to be really making a community spot. The other thing I'd like to talk about is Umatilla Food Pantry. We are getting together next Wednesday, the 12th. So anybody that's interested in food insecurity and doing something about it, please join us. It's at 4:00. And as Josiah said, our first pop-up is going to be Saturday, August 22nd, down at the chamber office from 10 to noon. So get the word out. It sounds like we're going to have a lot of stuff to give out.
Where's your meeting?
Yeah, it's going to be at the business center. Sorry, I didn't mention that.
Hey, Lyle, do you guys take donations and stuff? Okay, like both monetary and do you accept?
Me now.
Yeah. Do you accept both monetary and like food donations and stuff, or how does that work?
We are not looking for monetary donations at this point.
Okay.
We're just looking for stuff we can give out.
Okay.
We
Will. Okay.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. We do have a nonprofit set up. We have our EIN number to where it would be tax deductible if somebody were to donate money or in kind. So we're interested in that, but at this point, we're just trying to get things on the ground and really want this to go full bore by next season or next summer season. Any other questions? That's all I've got. Glad to see everybody come out.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, and thank you for your work on the pantry. We really appreciate it, and thanks for your efforts. Moving on now to Ms. McMillan.
Yeah, the National Night Out was pretty cool. I love how there's seating in there. And we have little ones and it's hot like that. We were able to go in there and sit down and actually feed them without like burning up outside and stuff. But I thought there was a lot of fun booths and a lot of fun things for the kids. And I thought it was my daughter. I couldn't tell you how many books that she got that are going to be sitting there for a little bit, but she got them. I can't say no to a book. So, and I had a question. I had somebody ask me, the repairs on the Umatilla Bridge, you know how that one area has been blocked off for a while where you walk through there. When is there any like time frame that's gonna get fixed, or what's going on with that?
But a state of Oregon thing, huh?
Could be.
Yeah, I don't know. It's ODOT manages those bridges in that section of the highway there, and
That's all I gotta say.
yeah, and Last time we asked was probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and they didn't have an answer for us at that time. Undetermined was the response. So
Nice.
But it's in the state budget, so, we'll
Oh.
see.
Okay, I won't hold my breath. Um,
I wouldn't.
And then one other thing, I just kind of want to do a little shout out. There's been a lot of talk on social media lately, especially about like the flock cameras and all this stuff. And I know there's a lot of people that are coming to bat for certain things on it and just different subjects. But there's a couple that I've seen on there that are just great at getting information out to people. Mary Cahill and Brenda Baumgart. I probably butchered that. But they both have been really good about putting links to the town hall and talking about Officer Capers and his presentation and just trying to help answer questions on there. They did a fantastic job on there. And so I just kind of want to give them a shout out that we appreciate. We can't always get to everything. You guys can't always do everything. And when they put the links in there directly for people to go see what was spoken about, and it helps a lot when they can go in there and just get those questions answered. So I just kind of want to give them a little shout out for being out there and help fill in some of those gaps. So, but that's all I got.
Great, thank you. Mr. DeFloss.
I just want to apologize for not being there. I'm in Salem for work, but I really don't have anything. Thank you.
Great. That was a fast one. All right. Ms. Pencraft.
I just want to say thanks for coming out tonight. The smoke and stuff, I thought was going to kind of put a little bit of a damper on the National Night Out. And it was nice to see that it didn't. There was a lot of people out there when I got here. And then Parks and Rec, I just wanted to say thank you for everything you guys are doing. It's nice to see how many events are running and how many kids are getting involved. And just noticing it like through town and stuff like that as well. Not just from the social media posts and things like that, but actually seeing the kids involved in things. So thank you.
Okay, and with that, looking for a motion to enter into our executive session.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Thank you very much. Can I second the motion, please?
I'll second it.
Motion's been first and second. We need a roll call at this time.
Counselor Pancratz.
Aye.
Counselor Dufflaw. Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Smith.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan. Counselor McLean.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The city council will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 1926602H to consult with their attorney regarding your legal rights and duties regarding a current litigation or litigation that is more than likely not to be filed. Representatives of the news media and the city manager, department directors, and the city attorney shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All of the members of the audience are asked to leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report or otherwise disclose any of the deliberations or anything said about these subjects during the executive session, except to state the general topic of the session as previously announced. No decision will be made during the executive session. At the end of the executive session, we will return to the open session and welcome the audience back to the room.
23 seconds.
Time.
You did a fantastic job with that.